Ladies and gentlemen, Excellencies, it's a special pleasure to greet you today with us, and it's a special pleasure to greet you in this really difficult time after the corona epidemic. And we are really happy to greet you from the capital of Tatarstan, from Kazan, and I'm very happy to be the guest of the Agency of the Investment Development of Tatarstan, and we have the representative of this agency. We will greet this beautiful lady a little bit later in more details, but at the moment I just wanted to announce the main topic that we are going to talk about, and this topic will be discussed within the certain kind of project that Tatarstan is announcing now, and it's dedicated to the Republic of Tatarstan, and it's called 100 Tatarstan. But also, I think we should not forget about a very great event that takes place every year in Tatarstan, and it's called Kazan Summit. And I would say that it's the biggest event of the Russia and Islamic countries collaboration in the field of the economic collaboration and investment collaboration. And of course, Organization of Islamic Cooperation is one of the biggest partners in organizing this event, in participating in this event, and in supporting this event. And it's a special pleasure for me to greet the representatives of this organization, because this year we celebrate 15th anniversary of the Russian participation in the work of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. And this organization 15 years ago accepted Russia as an observer, but I would say this place of the observer is a very special place, and I'm very happy to greet today special people who are now working, I would say, as bridges, economic, political, cultural, educational bridges between our countries. And first of all, of course, I'm very happy to greet the Agency of Investment Development of Tatarstan. And they are actually the main organizers of this event, together with the representative of the Russian Federation to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. And we are very happy to greet our representative here, Mr. Abdulatifov, as well as co-organizer of this event and vice chairman of the Group of Strategic Vision Russia Islamic World, His Excellency Dr. Farid Muhammadchin, who is also participating in all the events dedicated to the economic and not only economic collaboration of Russia with the Islamic world, because the Group of Strategic Vision Russia Islamic World is one of the main instruments of the Russian public diplomacy, and I would say not only Russian public diplomacy, I would say the public diplomacy between Russia and Islamic world. Also, I'm very happy to greet representatives of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation and Islamic Bank of Development. It's a special pleasure to say welcome, ahlan, to Dr. His Excellency Ayman Sijini, who is a CEO and General Manager of the Islamic Cooperation for the Development of the Private Sector. Also, I'm very happy to greet Mr. Nagi Jabarov, who is not only representing now Trade and Investment Division of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation General Secretariat, but he is one of those people who is visiting Kazan Summit, and as far as I know, 2 years ago he was here in Tatarstan, and I hope we will meet many times again here. I hope that Mr. Ehsan Ovud, His Excellency, will join us later, who is Secretary General of the Standards and Metrology Institute for the Islamic countries. Because one of the main issues which is discussed during the Kazan Summit is the issue of the standardization and, of course, halal industry. And I'm sure he will tell us very interesting information about this collaboration, this field of collaboration. I'm also very happy to greet His Excellency Ambassador Saeed Al-Jum'a, who is a permanent representative of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. And it's really, really very, very big pleasure and honor for us that Russia is not only collaborating with our OIC as general, but also with certain countries and with certain people who are also working, as I said, as bridges between our countries, are taking part in our event today. And that's why I'm also very, very pleased to greet another ambassador, His Excellency Mehmet Metin Eker, permanent representative of the Republic of Turkey to the OIC. And of course, I'm sure he has a lot of things to say about the collaboration of our countries, especially in the economic field. So let me greet you once more and say welcome to Tatarstan, even virtually. And first of all, I would love to give the panel to His Excellency Dr. Farid Muhammedshin, Deputy Chairman of the Group of Strategic Vision, Russia Islamic World. You're welcome, Your Excellency.
Уважаемые дамы и господа, дорогие друзья.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, to begin with, I would like to thank Talia Minulina for the initiative around organizing today's event, despite the fact that we are limited due to well-known closures due to pandemic. Russia Islamic World Strategic Vision Group very much supported this initiative because interaction of Russia with OIC member countries is an important dimension for the work of our group. I'm once again welcoming you, Mr. Ramazan Abdullatipov, in this challenging year, together with you, Representative Office of Russian Federation in OIC, as well as the Secretariat of OIC. We are continuing our efforts in strengthening relations in economic, cultural, scientific, political relationships. And as it was already said by our moderator, OIC-Russia interaction is growing in many dimensions. Just a month ago, we had a meeting dedicated to this date, when the main vectors of our partnerships for the years to come have been identified, and the renewed concept of activity of Strategic Vision Group, which was presented in June of last year with participation of Minister of Foreign Affairs of Russia, Sergei Lavrov, is based on the fact that wide circles and regions of Russia are very much supporting Russia's steps towards strengthening traditional friendship with OIC member countries. And we see a respective views shared by our partners from Islamic countries. The regional component of this interaction today is spurring great interest not only among our regions but among the regions of OIC member countries. In this sense, this group was strengthened. We have 7 more regions of Russian Federation with a Muslim population of Tatarstan, Ingushetia, Crimea, Alania, Chechen Republic. The group consists also of regions, the centers, upper chamber, lower chamber of the Russian Federal Parliament, as well as the leaders of a number of region subjects of the Federation. We believe that the strengthening inter-regional factor in the activities of the group will help us to take the activities to a higher level of collaboration. Talking about this factor, it's important to remember that every region is unique by ethnic composition, faith is present in the culture. In the framework of the group, we are offering a possibility to demonstrate economic strengths of regions, which is becoming more and more effective and more important in the trade and economic and investment dimension. I would like to stress the fact that Russia is showing its readiness to be sharing its technology, scientific achievement, to be taking part in training of the national staff in various scientific intensive technologies, nuclear, space, IT, others. There are now positive examples of active collaboration between OIC member countries and Russia's regions. Tatarstan, Bashkortostan, Chechnya, Karacháyevo-Cherkessia, and others are regions of Russia that can be quoted. In here, it would be important to mention such regional fora, which are organized, such as International Islamic Investment Forum, planned to be held in Ufa in the fall of current year. It is quite possible that it might be postponed if the situation won't allow us to conduct it as planned. The forum is foreseen as an international platform for developing cooperation with Islamic businesses, Islamic financial institutes. It's also a summit in the city of Grozny in the support of entrepreneurship and innovations, international platform. A possibility to discuss the strategy of collaboration of Chechen Republic with other countries. It's also a forum in Karacháyevo-Cherkessia. The forum meant to attract investors that are ready to cooperate with regions of North Caucasus as the growth point, as well as other measures. I would like to strengthen that various regions of Russia can become pilot territories on the use of tool sets of Islamic banking, Volga regions, Caucasus, as well as large megapolises such as Moscow and St. Petersburg. At the same time, Tatarstan is a leader in this area. We know well about the Tatarstan's potential due to the achievements in economic and educational and technological achievements that is based on the collaboration of many countries of OIC with the Republic. I believe you'll hear all this from Ms. Minulina when she would be speaking on behalf of the Republic of Tatarstan. At the moment, may I reiterate, Tatarstan has its economic offices in 15 countries. It has a wide spectrum of relations with partners in CIS countries such as Belarus, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, and many other republics of ex-Soviet Union, some of which are also members in OIC. But not only that, a much wider circle of foreign countries. And in the course of last 3 years, Tatarstan was 3 times becoming a laureate of first prize for successes in maximum attractive investment opportunities for foreign direct investors. Tatarstan and other regions of Russia are successfully promoting their products, taking them to international markets, bringing in, making investments around Russia, implementing various important economic and humanitarian actions. In this regard, we can say that all of this is working to strengthen our regions as well as country overall. We are showing our readiness to inform foreign partners of the group with this positive experience of Tatarstan and other regions of ours on the development of international and interregional collaboration with Russia in the aspect of having various large initiatives. I would like to draw your attention to the forums that Tatarstan is conducting under the aegis of Russia Islamic World Strategic Vision Group. You obviously know about Russia Islamic World Summit of Islamic Finance Kazan Summit. In September of current year, Tatarstan is launching a unique project. For example, behind our anchors, you see the slogans and the web address of that event: electronic intellectual business space 100% Tatarstan. Last year at Kazan Summit there were 3,500 delegates from 72 countries of the world and 38 regions of Russia. Its contribution into the development of international collaboration was very much welcomed by the leadership of the country. The chairman of the upper chamber of the Russian Federation, Valentina Matvienko, noted the importance of Kazan Summit as a platform that allows the Russian Federation to showcase its potential, find partners, investors, and develop new formats of interaction. Such activity, from our point of view, is an especially important element of foreign economic policy of our state, and it would continue receiving all necessary effective support on behalf of the leadership of the group. At the same time, I already said that regions themselves are becoming active as a platform of international economic cooperation. It's been a number of years that are taking part in the International Economic Forum organized in Dubai, Tatarstan, Yakutia, Chuvash, Tomsk Oblast, and others. Forum concentrated on industry and investment. The key specific of the forum is being one of the few international platforms for world recognized entrepreneurs. Russian companies welcomed here get a chance not just to share innovations, but getting exposed to international experiences of implementing investment strategies in their regions, as well as executing such initiatives. Dear colleagues, we are seeing this event, online event, as a possibility, as a stepping stone for the preparation towards Kazan Summit 2021. All the proposals that would be expressed today will be attentively analyzed and would be introduced into the foundation of the organization of the upcoming forum in the interaction with the OIC. At the same time, we have started developing a database on possibilities of interaction of Russia and Islamic world countries, including various business formats of interaction with various structures of economic bloc of OIC. We are also addressing these colleagues to test positions of member countries about possibility of participation of their representatives, be it in the work of Kazan Summit 2021, as well as in other forums where investment projects for Russian regions would be attractive. As for the Russia to OIC Strategic Vision Group, could route respective proposals into Russian regions, and that way prepare them for developing candidates for collaboration and presentation of the projects that might be of interest to OIC member countries. We do hope that both the Russian regions and OIC member countries and the respective institutions of theirs would be ready to activate collaboration. On our side, we are ready to organize a separate meeting or roundtable on inter-regional collaboration with participation of regions of Russia as well as regions of OIC member countries. Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I would like to express special gratitude to leadership of OIC and personally to the Director General Yusuf Al-Aymin, the leadership of OIC that is taking active part in our events and supporting them. In conclusion, I'd like to stress the fact that all steps to develop the activities of the group and actuating collaboration between the regions of Russian Federation and OIC member countries is directed at improving the effectiveness of cooperation of our countries, developing intercivilizational dialogue. Our purpose is to take the collaboration to a new level. We hope that the outcomes of today's conference would also be taken into account in the work at the regional level of Russian Federation and OIC member countries.
So we are open for the contacts, and we are ready to provide any support and help during our cooperation. Let me wish success to our joint event, and thank you very much for your attention.
The great information you have given to us about the work of the Group of Strategic Vision, first of all, and second, about all the perspectives of the collaboration of Russia with the Islamic world, and a special thanks for the practical proposals, as usually you do, and first of all, to be the bridge, certain kind of bridge between the Russian regions and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation and Islamic world as general in the field of business cooperation. I think it's very important, and I'm sure our members of the Group of Strategic Vision and participants of our meeting will really take it into consideration. And of course, it's really, really significant that such people as you now are heading, in actually taking the first place in the collaboration of Russia with the Islamic world. But I should say that it's a certain group of people who is now really pushing our collaboration despite of all the difficulties. And one of those important, significant people and one of those important persons in the field of collaboration with the Islamic world for many, many years is His Excellency Ramazan Abdullatipov, who is now representing Russian Federation to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. And I'm really, really very pleased to announce his speech right now and to give him the panel. And I'm very, very happy that this person who is collaborating with Arabic world, with Islamic world, not for the last 15 years, but for decades, is now really representing Russia. And I'm very honored that he is now the voice of Russia at the Organization of Islamic Cooperation.
Assalamu alaikum.
Dear friends, I'm very glad to greet you in our meeting, and the presentation of Mr. Muhammad Shim, of course, was very interesting and very comprehensive, and he talked about most of the issues of our cooperation, and especially about the topics which we are going to discuss today, the economic issues. And we celebrate the 15 years of our membership of Organization of Islamic Cooperation with our status of observer. And I'm glad to greet my colleagues from Saudi Arabia and Turkish Republic of Turkey who work with us. And I'm very glad that you today participate in our work, because we work very actively with Saudi Arabia, with Turkish Republic. And I have to say that a lot of economic structures of Organization for Islamic Cooperation work either they work either in Turkish Republic or Saudi Arabia. And I'm very glad that we work together. We celebrate 15 years of our presence in this organization. We conducted several events with the Group of Strategic Vision, and I'm very glad that the Group for Strategic Vision is an organizational center in Russia which organizes work with the Islamic world, Islamic countries. For me, it's a great support. I'm very thankful to Minekhanov and Muhammedshan, especially with the help of Farid. This work became more active, and for us it is very important. Apart from that, it's important to understand that the Group of Strategic Vision and other directions of our work and cooperation, including our joining this Organization for Islamic Cooperation, These are all initiatives of the President of Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin. His speech in Malaysia in 2003, and later on his speech in 2005, and organization, according to his initiative, group for strategic vision with such outstanding people as Yevgeny Primakov and Shaimiyev. For us, this is very important. For us, these people are very much respected, and when we work, we always look at what these people did. Of course, the main role belongs to Kazan summit. We're talking not about the main site on which we cooperate with Islamic countries, and as many of my colleagues from different Muslim countries say, it is one of the most important sites on which you cooperate with the Islamic world in general. So that is why for us it is this important is very important, and it's important that this work is done by Talia, and we see how active this work is. I participated several times in Kazan summit, and it was I was very glad to see the level on which this work is organized by our Tatar friends. And the General Secretary of Yusuf Asamin, he participated in this work, and he continuously shows his interest towards the work of Kazan summit and the prospective topics which we discuss on Kazan summit. He appreciates the work of Group of Strategic Vision, Minikhanov, and he works very closely with him, and it helps us a lot to develop Russian Islamic cooperation. And we have to understand that Russia, not just historically active part and friend of Islamic world, but it also Russia plays one of the leading roles in the development of the Islamic world, and in this annual consultations, Russia Islamic World, which we conduct, Russia Organization for Islamic Cooperation, it shows how many topics we have in common, how vast our cooperation is, and how profoundly we influence each other. And the visit of General Secretary to Moscow and his meeting with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Lavrov, and with Valentina Matviyenko, meeting with Ravil Gainudin, it all showed what kind of relationship we built with Organization for Islamic Cooperation and Russian Federation. Of course, we talked a lot about cooperation between the regions, among the regions. Unfortunately, nowadays, apart from Tatarstan, Tatarstan probably the only one who works actively in this area. As a ex-head of Republic of Dagestan government, I probably didn't pay enough attention to this. Yes, I met a lot with the OIC representatives, but in my everyday life, unfortunately, I didn't pay enough attention to the joint work with this organization. I met with the representatives in Iran, but this organization, OIC, was not involved. At that time, this Group for Strategic Vision did not work quite intensively in this area, as opposed to nowadays, because today, listen to Farid, how he works and explains the importance of this relationship. That's not good that our ministries and departments do not know possibility of Organization of Islamic Cooperation, and they have a lot of economic units. They have Islamic banking, they have Islamic Bank for Development, and we have representatives of these people. I met with the management of the Islamic Bank of Development. They are interested in active work in Russian Federation and in Muslim regions of Russian Federation. But this work is not very active. Management of Islamic banking met with the Central Bank of Russia, with Nabiulina. They organized joint working group, but this work has not finished yet, has not completed yet. Possibilities of Islamic banking in Russia are not used, although we work a lot with Sberbank, with Tatarstan, with the Central Bank, but so far we don't have any real work and real results. When I was preparing to our meeting, I saw how much is done in Great Britain. They have Islamic Bank, they have Islamic windows in different bank institutions. They use all possibilities of Islamic banking in their country. Russia needs this cooperation, especially when we are going through different sanctions imposed by foreign countries. We have to be more active, and that's exactly what Mr. Putin is talking about, and Minister of Foreign Affairs. And you see that Arab Summit was hosted in Moscow, and African Summit was hosted in Sochi, though the whole situation is ready to organize more intensive work with the Islamic countries, and including economic sphere. We plan consultations with Russia and OIC, and we'll be talking about progress in science and technology and in education. All these issues, and Russia has very good potential, which is necessary. And Islamic countries need this potential. And this direction is headed by Deputy General Secretary, Mr. Guseynov, who knows Russia very well. He's from Kazakhstan, and he's very active in this work, and he's very motivated. So that is why when we sum up our 15 years membership in Organization of Islamic Cooperation, we at the same time look into the future. We try to understand what we missed, we try to understand what we didn't do enough, or what we haven't done enough. And I'm very glad to tell you that today we talk about very important economic trend in our cooperation. Islamic vector has huge importance for the foreign policy of the Russian Federation. So that is why thank you very much, all of you, for working with us in this area. Thank you.
For being so open, and also for being so critical, because being critical is the first step to start the thing. And as we say in Russian, starting the business is just a half of the business. And I think that one of the entry points for our regional collaboration, for the collaboration of the Russian regions with the Organization of Islamic Cooperation and with the Islamic world as general, is of course the Republic of Tatarstan. And I think that the agency for the investment development, Tatarstan Investment Development Agency, as it's correctly called, is really a prominent organization for this collaboration, because they are really putting such great efforts every time in the organization of Kazan Summit, and I'm so much pleased to be the participant of this event for already many years. And I'm very thankful not only for the organizing of this event, not only for the organization, but also for the way how they work with all the participants, and especially for the new way of working with the press and for the new way of working with media, including the new media. And I think this experience might be really very useful for all the regions of Russia in the future. And I think Tatarstan has a lot to share with them. And I'm very, very happy to invite Ms. Marina Yepifantseva, Deputy Chief Executive of the Tatarstan Investment Development Agency, and she will talk to us about the International Economic Summit, Russia Islamic World Kazan Summit, as the economic wing for the interaction between the regions of the Russian Federation and the OIC countries, and Tatarstan as the entry point for Islamic countries to the market of the Russian Federation. The panel is yours.
Thank you so much, Anna. Your Excellencies, dear participants of this wonderful forum we are having this year, 100% Tatarstan, you are mostly welcome to this panel, and we are going to give you some secrets of how we are organizing our summit, and of course give you some intriguing notes for the next years to come, as we all hope with you next year we will have our forum again. This year we couldn't meet with you, dear participants of former summits. It could have been the 12th one. Let's hope next year we will have it. As we say, as Muslims say, inshallah, as we say, let God be it, let it be. Okay. So, Organization of Islamic Cooperation is our big friend. As our dear Excellencies said, Mr. Muhammedshan, Mr. Abdullatipov, it is very important for us that we have this wing, that we have this dialogue, and that we can be communicating through this platform also with the help of our Excellencies. Mr. Abdullatipov last year have been present at our summit, and I am sure that his presence brought more importance to it. Each guest that comes to us, and last year we had all representatives of Gulf countries. All Gulf countries came. We had representatives from kingdoms and their families, so we had sheikhs here. So the highest level of organization is the impact of each person that was giving his strive for this. For example, Saudi Arabia, that is present today at this session, they sent 40 people here. Can you imagine 40 people only from Saudi Arabia? The same was from UAE, the same from Turkey. Some countries sent smaller delegations, like up to 10 people, but as we say, each one is important for us. Each one, from diplomatic wing, politicians, ambassadors, representatives of governments of countries, and of course businessmen. We invite and wait for everyone to come. So Mr. Muhammedshan already gave some figures about the past Kazan summit we had last year. It was 5,000 participants in general, because we, besides the business program, we had an exhibition, Russia Halal Expo. We unite the floors of speaking about the situation we have today, and we unite possibilities for businessmen to have trade. So these two unite together and give a wonderful impact, it's a blow up in further cooperation. And of course, trade later gives us impact in direct investments, on which Tatarstan Investment Development Agency is authorized for. Yes, the most important thing for us as an agency is attraction of foreign direct investments. But we are working on the whole picture to make it all work. As we were discussing, it could have been the 12th forum, and each year we are organizing it, we receive the same questions. Where are Islamic investments? People are already, let's say, a little tired of hearing that the law can't be changed. I was thinking about this issue as there is a saying, so if you can't change the dress, change it. So we made it pivot. We changed our attitude. We are looking at the experience of other countries. The Great Britain, Mr. Abdulatif mentioned, of course, Malaysia, UAE in Dubai, the most famous, like Dubai International Financial Center. Of course, we want to have such financial centers. Of course, we want to have partner windows in our banks. Of course, we are, let's say, exchanging experience with our closest neighbors, Kazakhstan, who also have Astana International Financial Center. So we want to have this at our territory, but we understand that there is no need to change the legislation for the whole country. We need to change it, we need to change the efforts we do to bring this all up, to make it work. And 2 years ago, we signed, we worked out here in Tatarstan a roadmap on halal lifestyle. So we are doing it vice versa. We are developing the market. It is all we need Islamic finances in. It's tourism, it's entertainment, of course it's food, and all other spheres where we can use this. So we can make the market, and later it will bring us the changes in the legislation. Because now there was no need for it, because it was all just 1, 2, 3 cases. Yes, we already have experience of working with Islamic finances since 2011, when our bank, Akbar's bank, had the first transaction. But it wasn't the row, it wasn't the numbers that we needed to change the legislation. So at this point, we are working on developing business in these spheres. For example, maybe you have heard last week the President of our Republic, Mr. Minakhanov, at the meeting of the Investment Council that we have approved the new project that we have, a halal guide mall. So we will be building a halal mall. So the people from, let's say, Middle East or other Muslim countries can have a spot to travel to, besides coming to Kazan Summit each year. Oh, yes, it's not the only thing to do. Businessmen are always counting the money, and they are searching for new mechanisms, for new instruments, for new things to give their money to. For example, we have a new thing in real estate, and that didn't need to change legislation. We have a special instrument, as I was advised, in the part of Musharaka, which our Muslim people can use to buy real estate. It's a cooperative instrument, and it is already used. So there are hundreds of people who already bought flats to live using this instrument. And that's besides halal food that we have in each supermarket and in each food market. That's besides the modest clothing that we have in each shopping mall. So this is the culture we are rising here, and people coming here and getting acquainted with Tatarstan, they want to have more. All of our people are ambassadors to Arabic world. For example, a professor of Arabic language from our state university himself made a series of small, let's say, videos of his journeys around Tatarstan. And his friends and his partners, by word of mouth, started to ask, what is this wonderful territory? How we can come there? How we can work with them? And we already started Zooms. So this year, all of us are online with this gentleman from UAE, and they are asking, we want your halal food. We want your products of agriculture. We want this, we want that, and so on. So in this point, Tatarstan Investment Development Agency is working as an advocate for businessmen from Arabic world to start working with Tatarstan, and we understand that trade later may bring us to foreign direct investments that we're looking for. Just ending this speech, I want to say that already at this point, from 57 countries that are members of OIC, 16 countries are investing in Tatarstan, already starting from 2007. And one of the first investors was Saudi Arabia. Yes, Islamic Development Bank helped us a lot starting the Kazan Summit, helping us, advising us, and supporting us in these issues. So I really hope that next year we will have new topics for people to speak at our wonderful summit, for new contacts for businessmen to come here, and of course our direct flights will work well from Arabic countries. So you are mostly welcome to Tatarstan, and please know that Tatarstan Investment Development Agency is your one-stop shop here, and especially on Arabic issues in sense of business. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's really, really very interesting just to know about those projects, because even though I do take participation every year in Kazan Summit, there were a lot of new information for me. And I should prove myself that definitely halal is a style of life here. And this style of life is a certain kind of happiness for everybody who lives here. For instance, every time when I come here, I go to a very, very simple place. It's a certain kind of, I would say, fast food canteen or fast food coffee shop. It's called Tobite. And when you go there, you can try everything traditional for Tatarstan food. But many people, despite of their belief, despite of their faith, despite of their ethnicity, they come there because it's just tasty, it's healthy, and it's really not very expensive. So I'm very, very happy that I'm here. And my proposal to you is just continuing to what was said to our excellencies, Mr. Mohammed Shin and Mr. Abdulatif. Maybe you can be not only those who really develop such amazing things here on the place, but maybe in addition to working on the ground, you can do certain kind of also help and advisory work for our regions, for the Russian regions.
I can add for that.
Please.
Last Kazan Summit, I had some negotiation with representative of Islamic Development Bank, and we ended up with let's say, agreements that Tatarstan is an interesting case and a very good practice for former CIS countries like Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and so on. But this work ended, unfortunately, and we would be really happy to give our expertise and experience. I will try my best to renovate these contacts. And speaking of collaboration with our regions, neighboring regions, I should say that we are big friends with our colleagues from all regions of Russia. We are members of a national association of the investment promotion agencies. We are members also, by the way, of a world association of investment promotion agencies. And we gather minimum like 5 times a year. We gather together, and even at Kazan summit a few years ago, I made a session with all the regions, and we discussed how we can collaborate together. And I should say that maybe the absence of this topic, as Mr. Abdulatifov said, in other regions is because at this point they don't see Arabic countries as investors. That's why it is very important to bring them also the experience of Tatarstan, of our agency, who are working from the farthest point, who are considering investors at the point when they are just businessmen, not knowing what they want. And it's always like that. We consider any businessman as investor. If they say, we can't build a plant here in Tatarstan, we say, okay, open an R&D center. Okay, we can't open an R&D center. Okay, open a representation office. So there is a lot we can advise them, and we will be really happy to be invited to the forums about which Mr. Mukhamedson said. We are open as we network. This brings profit to everyone.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for mentioning actually Islamic Bank for Development, because they are not only helping a lot to the organizing of Kazan Summit, but also they sent a very special representative who will be talking today in our panel. And so I'm very happy to announce our next speaker, His Excellency Mr. Ahmed Sajini, who is CEO and General Manager of the Islamic Cooperation for Development of the Private Sector. And I think he will talk to us about the current situation in the economy of the OIC countries. And also, he will give us perspectives how ICD could cooperate with Russia for supporting the member countries' economies. You're welcome, Your Excellencies.
Thank you very much. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim wa salatu wassalam ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a great honor for me to be on this very prestigious conference. I'd like to extend my appreciation to the organization of the summit, Tatarstan Investment Development Agency, permanent mission of the Russian Federation to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, and Group for Strategic Vision, Russian Islamic World. I really appreciate that I'm here on behalf of the Islamic Cooperation for the development of the private sector, as a private sector arm of the Islamic Development Bank group. As you all have noticed, the unfortunate COVID-19 pandemic is associated risks have impacted OIC countries across all regions on economic, financial, and social fronts, especially that it is taking care of low and middle income OIC member countries have been impacted greatly. The COVID-19 pandemic has dashed the hope for expected growth recovery in 2020. After recording around 2% expansion in 2019, the lowest since 2008 and 9 financial crisis, it was initially forecasted that growth would go upwards across OIC countries on the back of the improvement commodity prices and reforms. But on the countries, growth for the OIC countries is now expected to contract more than 2% in 2020, with forecasts subject to change as the situation progresses before recovering in 2020. Considering facts that OIC region experienced a positive growth rate even during the global financial crisis in 2008 and 2009, nearly 2%, this reveals extent of severity of the impact of the pandemic on OIC economics. To elaborate on this, the export structure of the OIC countries is highly concentrated on resources and primary commodity-based products. So, for example, 4 out of 10 top 10 largest OIC economics fuel remained the primary source of export earnings, though lockdown and social distancing measures, including travel restrictions, COVID-19, had distractedly reduced the demand for these products. So, seeing that OIC fuel exports were already in middle stagnation in 2019, they are forecast to slip further in 2020 as uncertainty and ongoing concern about the demand for further lockdown. So, building additional vulnerability in the economics and reflect in other macroeconomic indicators, we expect it to face significant deterioration in their current balances. Of course, all of this does affect them the most vulnerable sector. Currently, it is not possible to quantify to which extent the SMEs in OIC countries are affected by the crisis. The lockdown are likely to put many SMEs at risk of bankruptcy. It is actually known also, as the United Nations Secretary General has reminded us, the COVID-19 pandemic is a strategic reminder of how deeply connected we are. The virus knows no borders, is a global challenge combating the required to us to work together as one human family. Now more than ever, the importance of enhancing economics and close business ties to confront our shared challenges. Populism and protectionism have threatened the spirit of the international cooperation. Protectionism measures while responding to the discontent with the current state of global economic system ultimately harms not only the broader economy, but very citizens they purport to benefit. So countries are reconsidering their approaches to collaboration and cooperation. Deepening economic partnership will pay dividends. We believe that growth in turns and means to creating a better and more equitable society. And by that, it will resolve a disagreement peacefully, platforms to agree on common rules on international stages, mechanism to better manage international flows, and challenge for exchange ideas, experiences, and practices so that countries learn from each other. In this context, I particularly against the current global backdrop, I see many ways Russia and OIC countries can benefit and draw lessons from one another, with lists of shared problems, increasing such as overcoming the current pandemic and declining economic prospects, climate change, declining biodiversity, sustainability, infrastructure development, cybercrime, large-scale migration, and so on. National borders are no match for these challenges. So due to the diverse nature of OIC countries and the region of Russia, increased cooperation can only create win-win outcomes and more widely shared gain on the socio-economic front. So this is our hope really to come to the stage where if we take a look at history, only through the spirit of international collaboration and cooperation, our global community has been able to tackle challenges and create cross-border solutions. I really thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to be with you on this very important summit.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, and thank you very much for your inspiring wish to unite again with a spirit of collaboration and collaboration, especially in the economic field. And I should say that a special role in the collaboration of Russia and in general Russia in general and Kazan summit in particular with the Islamic world is played, of course, by the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. And I would like to greet the General Secretariat of this organization, and especially the head of Trade and Investment Division of the OIC General Secretariat, Mr. Nagy Jabarov, who has already participated in Kazan Summit. And he has really, really good understanding on what's going on in the economic relations between Russia and countries of the Islamic world. The panel is yours, Mr. Jabarov.
Yeah, thank you very much, Anna. Dear speakers, dear participants, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, I would like to thank all organizers for this important video conference. I'm representing OIC General Secretariat here, and I am pleased to address all today on occasion of the 15th anniversary of the establishment of OIC Russian Federation relations. As you know, the General Secretariat has granted observer status to the Russian Federation in 2005. And the Islamic World Kazan Summit is the annual economic cooperation platform between the Russian Federation and OIC. As mentioned, Ambassador Abdullah Tipo, about this Kazan Summit platform, really it's a unique cooperation platform between the governmental international organization and also observer state. And this annual Kazan Summit has always provided OIC member states the single opportunity of consolidating the excellent trade and cultural relation existing between the entire Muslim Ummah and the Brazilian people of Tatarstan and the Russian Federation. In addition, the various OIC activities aimed at popularizing Islamic financial products, development of halal industry, and promoting youth employment have created the needed momentum for the increased interaction between OIC and entire Russian Federation. This Kazan Summit has always showcased the innovative, the contemporary ideas of young business people in various economic areas, including Islamic finance and banking services. This innovation has adequately taken into consideration the increasing importance of Islamic economies and finance in a rapidly globalizing world. I attended the previous Kazan Summit sessions, and I saw that how these young entrepreneurs are actively attending these Kazan Summit sessions. And I would like also to thank our youth forum. This is the OIC affiliated forum for their cooperation in this field. And we are not limiting this only Kazan Summit. We have organized a joint roadshow. It's like a forum and trade fair in Jeddah in coordination with the Jeddah Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Russian Federation in 2015. And we are also inviting the Russian Federation to attend our private sector investment or other trade forums. I wish to inform that we have organized a high-level public and private investment conference in Istanbul, in Turkey, in December 2019, and we, in coordination with the host country, the Republic of Turkey, they have invited this chief executive of Tatarstan Investment Development Agency to attend this investment conference, and I would like to thank to Ms. Minulina for her active participation in this investment conference and excellent presentation during this conference. As you know, the Islamic finance has strong potential in promotion both social and economic infrastructure development, while Islamic instruments such as zakat and afkaf have great potential to support small-side projects. Sukuk Islamic bonds can successfully finance large-scale infrastructure projects, namely water, and sanitation projects, sustainable and affordable energy and transport projects. Accordingly, the Islamic finance industry stood at $2 trillion in assets in 2017 and has potential to grow to $3.8 trillion in assets by 2023. In addition, the OIC and its institution have always collaborated with the people of the Republic of Tatarstan and other regions of the Russian Federation towards increasing trade and investment flows, focusing on such areas as trade, promotion, and financing. Halal industry development, agriculture, and rural development, among others fields. And I would like to inform that our institutions, this Standards and Metrology Institute, is actively participating in this Kazan Summit. And as you know, this institute is very important for issuing these halal standards. And I know that Russian Federation has a good relation with this CIMIC, and the Secretary General of CIMIC, my brother Ihsan Ovet, is also here, and I know that they will inform more information about these activities. And also, as you know, this Islamic Development Bank, our youth forum, and also Islamic Chamber of Commerce and Industry also actively cooperating with the Russian Federation relevant institutions. And I wish also to inform that the liberalization of visa procedures between the OIC member states and the Russian Federation is also important for business relations. And this is visa upon arrival is also very important. Finally, let me congratulate the organizers once again of this conference made to improve relations between Russian Federation and OIC. I wish you all the success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jabbarov, and thank you for the informative speech, and thank you so much for the proposal for our regions, for Russian regions, to participate in private sector meetings. And I'm sure that not only Tatarstan, but also with the help and with the advisory help of Tatarstan, other regions of Russia will join this great events. And thank you so much for giving me a special bridge to the next speaker, because it's not only your dear friend who is going to speak next, but it's also a person who is very actively participating in Kazan Summit. And I was very pleased to moderate several sessions dedicated to the halal industry, where he was very active participant and very active member. And I'm very happy to give the panel to our next speaker, His Excellency Mr. Ihsan Ovet, Secretary General of the Standards and Metrology Institute for the Islamic countries, and of course the halal industry and its importance for Russia, and also the possibility of use of the halal standards, and especially OIC and SMIC standards in Russia. This is the issue that he is going to talk about. So you are welcome. Hoş geldiniz.
Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are grateful to Allah Almighty for blessing us with this occasion and giving us the opportunity to be united together at this important gathering during this pandemic. I'm very very glad to see you all here today, safe and sound. May Allah help us all intervene the fight against this pandemic, inshallah. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the Russian Federation on this 15th anniversary of membership to Organization of Islamic Cooperation. At the same time, I would like to thank Mr. Ramazan Abdul Latifov, permanent representative of the Russian Federation to the OIC, for giving us the opportunity to talk about the international cooperation between the region of the Russian Federation and OIC countries. And my speech will be, which is halal industry, its future in the world and Russia. Distinguished brothers and sisters, 8 months ago, no one knew the coronavirus existed. Now the virus has spread to almost every country, infecting nearly 24 million around the world. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected negatively the normal economic activity and daily life of citizens all across the globe. Many governments have had to take strict measures to prevent the outbreak of pandemic or further outbreak to keep the number of citizens affected by the disease to minimum possible. When we look at the origin of this COVID-19 outbreak, it can be easily noted that the coronavirus outbreak has drawn with the world's attention to the importance of food, cleanliness, and hygiene. As Muslims, halal and non-halal are main focuses of our lives. Before we make the action or consume something, we have to consider whether it is halal or not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Quran has defined for us what is halal and what is not. I strongly believe that in the wake of the outbreak, halal food has proven to be the best option, particularly with the meat-related food products, due to the cleanliness and disease-free aspects. It's very clear that the whole situation has opened up opportunities for firms, for companies operating within the halal food space, as consumers globally seek cleaner, safer food. Esteemed participants, our globalization and industrialization have made it more complicated for us to understand what we consume is halal or not, and that this has consequently brought the need for halal certification. For halal certification, we need standards. When I say standards, I refer to the technical documents which were professionally developed with the contribution of all stakeholders and by consensus. Muslims make up more than the 27% of the world's population and continue to grow. Simultaneously, the need for halal products and services such as halal food, cosmetics, tourism, logistics, pharmaceuticals, and finance has gradually increased, and developing technology and industrial changes have transformed the conventional halal products into the huge halal industry. Therefore, there is a strong need to have common standards for all halal-related products and services. And these standards should be developed by a standards organization which every stakeholders agree on. Brothers and sisters, this is why CIMIC is established in 2010 as an affiliate institute to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC. CIMIC is mandated to act as a professional entity in studying standardization methods and accreditation fields and developing standards which will display the interest of Islamic world. Over the last 10 years, CIMIC has achieved great progress and increased the number of its members to 42, including 3 observers. The main objective of CIMIC is to develop the latest standards to facilitate trade of reliable, halal and clean products between the countries for Muslim and non-Muslims as well. Up to date, in the halal area, CIMIC has published 11 OIC CIMIC standards, which were prepared in relevant technical committees of CIMIC in the most professional way. The main basic standards, OIC CIMIC 1, 2, and 3, namely halal production, certification, and accreditation standards, have been revised, and new and more modern editions of these standards are now published and available on OIC CIMIC website. We have also developed and published the new standards in related to halal cosmetic area and tourism and food activity, etc. Dear participants, under the CIMIC, as I said, we have 42 countries. We represent one nation and one voice, which is Muslim community. I believe our efforts will be successful, and we will all witness the establishment and operation of OIC global halal quality infrastructure. In this regard, I would like to thank all members and stakeholders who who are giving support to the CIMIC and OIC CIMIC standards. Halal industry as a is an ever-growing industry, projected with 5.2% year and year growth and $2.2 trillion spending. The industry includes halal food, travel, halal pharmaceuticals, cosmetic, finance, modest, fashion, etc. It is forecasted that the pandemic has increased and the demand for halal food since Muslim consumers are more careful about the food they consume. This ever-increasing halal industry opened many markets for all countries around the world, but also for Russia, which has diverse and large production capacity. The adoption of the use of CIMIC standards, halal standards, by Russia and Russian companies will allow for products to meet the halal standards for certification demands and to be easily imported to the OIC countries. As CIMIC, we are very happy and to announce the Russian Federation has become a CIMIC observer state as of 1st January 2020. Rus Standard is representing Russia in CIMIC as a national standards body. Rus Standards already initiated membership in several CIMIC technical committees, especially the ones related to halal standards. We have also initiated the process to sign an official agreement with Rus Standard so that they will officially sell OIC CIMIC standards in Russian Federation. We are also happy to share with you that we are working closely with institutions such as Tatarstan Investment Development Agency, while we are very actively participating in the session of the Kazan summits each year. They are also supporting the OIC Halal Expo and World Halal Summit take place in Istanbul. We attach importance to the membership of Russia in OIC and OIC CIMIC, bearing in mind that Russia accounts for our 25 million Muslims, well integrated in the plural, multicultural, and multi-faith society, well known for its diversity and tolerance, and hope that this expanding cooperation between Russia and the OIC and its institution will contribute for the benefit of all Ummah around the world. I once again would like to take this opportunity to thank the organizers for this online event and pray for Allah's grace and blessing for a successful outcomes for the unity among all of us. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. It's all the time a great pleasure to listen to you and to listen to your advices about halal industry and all the standards that are used all over the world. And I hope that next year we will be welcoming you also in Kazan, as we did before. And I'm very happy that such people as you do really participate in our collaboration, because the most important is the person. The most important is the soul that really wants to do something. And I should say that one of those people who really amazed me by his really passion to participate in this event is His Excellency Ambassador Said Al-Jum'a, who really amazed me by his knowledge about collaboration of Russia in Organization of Islamic Cooperation and Islamic world in general, in the field of politics, in the field of economics, and even all the details that he told me about Group of Strategic Vision were absolutely surprising for me. So I hope that His Excellency Ambassador Said Al-Jum'a will be really also next year able to come to Tatarstan, because I think you will be one of the most important, really, I would say, motors in our collaboration in the future. So I'm giving the panel to the permanent representative of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, His Excellency Ambassador Said Al-Jum'a.
To participate in the celebration of the 15th anniversary for the accession of the Russian Federation to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation as observer. In the same place, I express my gratitude and appreciation to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, its Secretary General Director Yusuf Al-Wadani for their efforts to strengthen a framework of cooperation between Russia and the Islamic world. Your Excellencies, Russia's accession to the OIC forms starting point to the realization of cooperation concept, as well as played an important role in strengthening the framework of economic, commercial, cultural, and social cooperation. This convergence has also enabled member states and regions of the Russian Federation. The convergence has also enabled member states and regions of the Russian Federation to establish new channels of communication, partnership, and dialogue between Russia and Islamic world states in several issues and contribute to create an environment for economic in which member states of OIC and the state of Russia Federation pursue interests of their people. Your Excellency, the world is now undergoing political, economic, and social change. Our meeting today is celebrating of this event. At the same time, we strive to achieve desired results that no doubt will produce an act of peace change and contribute to achieve constructive cooperation between member states of Organization of Islamic Cooperation and the Russian Federation. Your Excellency, and my country, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, is working hard to support and strengthen cooperation among OIC member states, as well as look forward to further cooperation in all fields. I really thank you very much for inviting me to participate in this important conference. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, and it's really very, very special pleasure that ambassadors coming to this event, ambassadors who are representing their countries at the OIC, and I'm very happy to give the panel to our next speaker, who is really able to say a lot, because with this country, with his country, we have really very special relations, especially in the economic field. So I'm giving the panel to His Excellency Ambassador Mehmet Metin Eker, Permanent Representative of the Republic of Turkey to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. You're welcome, hoş geldiniz.
Teşekkür ederim. Thank you, Tanya. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Excellencies, ambassadors, esteemed officials of the OIC institutions, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would like to start with thanking heartily to the organizers of this virtual teleconference for convening us to overview the OIC-Russia relations and the role of the OIC in economic development of its members and partners. It is also a valuable opportunity to refocus on an essential component of the OIC, which is observer states and the potential they offer in the example of Russia. Russia has never been a far and unknown land for the Islamic world. Quite contrarily, Russia, as a Euro-Asian country spreading over a large territory next to the Muslim Turkic communities in the Balkans, Central Asia, and the Caucasus, has been in interaction with the Islamic world over many centuries. This geographic proximity has enabled not only forging of political and commercial ties, but also social and cultural familiarity and interaction. Russia is home to millions of Muslims who make up approximately 10% to 14% of the total population. Of this, about 12 million or 9% are Turkic communities. Today, Islam is the second most widely professed religion in Russia and an essential component of the Russian society. Russian Muslims also act as a bridge between Russia and the Islamic countries. These decent relations pave the way for mutual understanding and common stances on challenges that Islamic world face. Russia, with this historic and cultural background, comes to the fore as an alternative case that deserves further attention compared with many Western and non-Western countries where Islamophobia is a rising trend. We are also welcoming the principled stance of Russia towards the Palestine cause, which is the central pillar of the OIC. Russia always adds its voice to that of the international community in supporting a comprehensive political solution to the Palestinian-Israeli conflict on the basis of the concept of creating two states for two peoples within the 1967 borders. This principled stance is still solid on the face of the Israeli annexation of the Golan Heights, or plans to annex parts of the Palestinian territories in the West Bank. In short, our priorities, which guide us throughout the last 15 years in consolidating our relations and forging new links between the OIC and Russia, have remained strong as ever. We cherish the universal principles of non-intervention in internal affairs and respect for territorial integrity of sovereign states. We believe that our cooperation has the potential to provide a sound basis for a just and safe world. We are refusing together all ideas about a clash of civilizations and enjoy a common stance against Islamophobia and terrorism. We believe in the importance of consolidating trust, cooperation, and mutual understanding in the international system. Distinguished participants, OIC is also the embodiment of the will of the member states to strengthen economic integration and to achieve sustainable and comprehensive human development and economic well-being. Turkey has been playing an active role in the design and implementation of this agenda of the organization. The Standing Committee for Economic and Commercial Cooperation of the OIC, shortly COMSEC, is the decision-making body in the field of economic and commercial issues at the ministerial level and is chaired by the President of the Republic of Turkey, Mr. Erdogan. This committee, together with a number of its mechanisms, serves as the main platform of OIC to forward cooperation in various economic fields and focus on challenges for development. The committee conducts its reviews and discussions in 9 different sectors. This ministerial session has been also regularly attended by the Russian delegations as well. Turkey also hosts the Standards and Metrology Institute for Islamic Countries, shortly SIMIC, We welcome the recent accession of the Federal Agency on Technical Regulating and Metrology ROS standard as an observer in CIMIC. We believe the ongoing mutual visits between CIMIC and Russian counterparts will strengthen the ties between us. The OIC Arbitration Center will soon be another newly established institution in Istanbul in the field of economy and trade. The center will provide services for the settlement of commercial and investment disputes referred by the public and private institutions from not only the member states, but also the observer states, including Russia and non-members. Recognizing the need to support investment in the OIC member states' economies, we hosted the first OIC high-level public and private investment conference, which was held on 8 to 9 December in 2019 in Istanbul, under the auspices of His Excellency Mr. Recep Tayyip Erdogan. We were pleased that a large delegation from Russian Federation, headed by the Deputy President of Tatarstan, Mr. Radik Pimatdinov, has also attended this conference. The Istanbul Declaration adopted therein has highlighted the principal factors to promote investment and untap the investment potential of the OIC member states. As an important track of our cooperation, there is a wide horizon for the economic and commercial relations between OIC and Russia. We are glad to witness that these relations are developing consistently. According to the official statistics of Russia, the trade volume between OIC and Russia has reached $75 billion in 2018. On the other hand, the total amount of foreign direct investment flows from the OIC member states to Russia exceeds $10 billion. Distinguished participants, Turkey maintains good neighborly relations and a strong cooperation in many fields with Russia, which is one of the leading economic powers. Our bilateral trade volume has reached to $26.3 billion in the year 2019. Even though we had a decrease in 2020 due to the pandemic, we have the strength and decisiveness to reach the former volumes. Total value of almost 2,000 projects undertaken by the Turkish contractors in Russia in the post-Soviet period has exceeded $75 billion. In the year 2019, the number of Russian tourists who visited Turkey has exceeded 7 million, which sets a new record. Energy is another field of cooperation. Our presidents attended the inauguration ceremony of Türk Atom natural gas pipeline on 8th of January this year. Moreover, Akkuyu nuclear power plant is being constructed as a joint project in Turkey. In addition to our high-level good relations with Moscow, we also have very good commercial and economic relations with the federal republics. Of the 21 federal republics in Russia, 9 are named according to ethnic Turkic community living there, and they make up almost 80% of the Muslim population in Russia. This connection has definitely helped to facilitate the establishment of commercial relations between these regions and Turkey since the early years of the post-Soviet era. At the mainstay of these flourishing relations also lies the stable, safe, and well-regulated investment atmosphere that attracts the Turkish businessman. On this basis, our entrepreneurs have important infrastructure and commercial investments in these republics. I would like to mention Turkey-Tatarstan economic relations as an example. Formal relations with Tatarstan started in 1996 with the establishment of the Turkish Consulate General in Kazan and with the establishment of the Plenipotentiary Representative Office of Tatarstan in Turkey in 1997. With Tatarstan, we reached a trade volume of almost $500 million in 2019. We are exporting mainly automobile parts to Tatarstan, while importing mainly mineral fuels and oils. However, the real bond between both economies are the ever-increasing Turkish investments in Tatarstan. To start with, the total business volume of Turkish contractors reached to $2.5 billion in Tatarstan. We have also numerous Turkish companies investing in Tatarstan. To name a few, Kastamonu Entegre, for example, is the third biggest foreign investment in the Republic, and the first one when petroleum and gas investments are excluded. Anadolu Group, another Turkish company, alone made an investment of $400 million last year. Other major Turkish companies also made investments in various fields, from cleaning products to automobile glass, from sheet metal to plastic products, particularly in the Alabuga Special Economic Zone. Turkey is also a significant trade partner for other regions. Turkey is now the third partner of the Samara region in its exports and the ninth in imports, with a total trade volume of $330 million. With the Bashkortostan region, we reached a trade volume of $140 million in 2019. In the same year, the Anadolu Group, a Turkish company, has made an investment of $570 million, demonstrating the ongoing interest of Turkish investors in this region. We also have promising economic relations with other regions, such as Çuvashistan, Mordovia, and Mari El. Dear colleagues, today, an unimaginable factor, a pandemic, poses a substantial threat to economic and financial stability of the world. Economic prospects are being worsened, and uncertainties lying ahead make it extremely difficult to formulate an exit strategy. Under these conditions, we must consolidate the foundations of the global economic system and deepen, as much as possible, our current relations with a view to foster trade and investment. In this regard, Russia and the OIC have a great potential to mobilize. We congratulate once again the 15th anniversary of our cooperation with Russia as the OIC. We appreciate the perspective and vision of the Russian leadership, which has expressed its will and interest to strengthen relations with the OIC by establishing an exclusive permanent mission in Jeddah. I hope this exemplary act would inspire all other OIC states, be it observer or a member, which have not opened exclusive permanent missions yet. Thank you very much for your attention, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Your Excellency, thank you so much, and it's really, really important to know all these numbers, even though we did hear them before, but just to remind them, it's really important. And as you mentioned, it's important for the other OIC members just to know how the relations between Russia and Turkey are developing. And I should say that your speech hasn't left us also indifferent. And I would like to give a word to my dear co-moderator, Marina Epifantseva, Deputy Chief Executive of the Tatarstan Investment Development Agency, because she really was so much inspired by your speech that she wanted to add something.
Thank you so much for your speech, and thank you so much for giving so much attention to Tatarstan. I just wanted to say, so that we would all understand how much we are friends and partners with Turkey, that from the figures that you gave, for example, in foreign direct investments, 1/10 is in Tatarstan. We are happy for that. We are happy that we have so strong partners in different fields of industry, as you mentioned. And one last thing I wanted to say, that during these horrible times that we had in the first half of the year, Turkey companies were also very socially responsible, and they helped here Tatarstan people with the products they produce. They helped our hospitals with the products they produced. This was really very important for us. Thank you. In your face, we want to give this highest appreciation of how Turkish companies are working. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think it's a really good example. You know, we were speaking about Tatarstan as an example of the regional cooperation, but I think Turkey might be an example for the other OIC countries. So maybe after this meeting we can really think about certain kind of coordination committee which can really help others to join this collaboration, because when we collaborate we really create the better world. And thank you very much for this spirit of better world, for this spirit of hope. Because despite of this coronavirus, we gathered today, we managed to talk today, and we were so much happy, all of us, just to share our ideas. And I was personally very much surprised by the great number of the practical proposals that were given today. And so we were speaking today, I hope first time and not the last time. I hope that's one of the events that will really start a certain kind of row of meetings dedicated to the regional cooperation of Russia with the Organization of Islamic Cooperation and Islamic world in general. And I would like to thank His Excellency Mr. Mohamedcihan for really practical proposals, first of all, given to all the participants that might be really taking for other meetings as a probably pattern to work on. Very thankful to His Excellency Mr. Abdullah Tipa for, I would say, very open and honest critics that really opens new horizons and new possibilities of collaboration, because when we know our weak points, we know how to collaborate in the future. I'm very thankful to Mr. Ayman Sijini for really giving us a certain kind of, I would say, spirit, because he was the first who used this word, spirit of collaboration. And I'm thankful to you for the spirit of collaboration that you also brought into our meeting. I'm very thankful to Mr. Nagid Jabarov, who I hope will be again a guest of Kazan Summit, because you were enlightening our previous meetings, and I hope again to meet you. And thank you for your invitation to participate in different kinds of events dedicated to the private sector investments. Also, I'm very thankful to Mr. Ihsan Ovud because he's all the time helpful to all the Russian participants, as I remember from Kazan summit, who wanted to know about halal standards and about SMIC in general. So I'm very thankful for being today with us once more. Very thankful to Mr. Said Al-Jum'an for his enthusiasm and for his participation and for his really readiness to do all the things that he has to fit in due to our technical standards. But I'm very thankful that he was all the time very helpful and very ready for that. Very thankful to His Excellency Ambassador Mehmet Metin Eker. And a special thanks, I would say, for Rosstandard, because I think they really need to be reminded about the necessity to collaborate more widely and more tight, I would say, with SMIC. And thank you so, so much, dear participants, for your time, for your really very effective collaboration today, and for your really effectively made practical advices and practical proposals. I hope that they will be taken as a roadmap for the future collaboration. And thank you to our dear organizers, the Tatarstan Investment Development Agency, Group of Strategic Vision Russia Islamic World, and of course, Russian representative to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Thank you very much, and we are hoping to meet you again many, many times.